huge surface area has to protect your sterile blood and tissue from kind of all of the nasty stuff that is in the GI tract. And there are certain components of bacteria that are called endotoxins. They slough off the bacterial cell wall, things that are called LPS. If your cells, and especially your immune cells, even get a whiff of those nasty endotoxins, then it will absolutely disrupt your metabolism. They cause all sorts of inflammatory reactions, and this is one of the major reasons why our metabolic systems start to go awry. This is a great area to target. So we're finding then that the cyanidin, the delphinidin, are helping to protect and to make sure that that cell wall in the GI tract is nice and tight. We did more studies that showed protection of the GI tract, and you can see here in the black, a high-fat diet causes more of these endotoxins to get through. But if you add anthocyanins, you're more like the control. It's causing the cells of the GI tract to be much more healthy. And one of the ways that it does that is that apparently the anthocyanins help feed the friendly bacteria, and their metabolism actually releases these short-chain fatty acids that are the main energy source for these cells that line the GI tract. It keeps them healthy, keeps them plump, and gives them nice tight junctions so that that 2 tennis court sort of surface area keeps all the bad stuff out and prevents the body from becoming inflamed and affecting the biochemistry of the body. So a lot of the studies that we did focused on how tight is that GI barrier and how healthy are the gut bacteria as a result of these anthocyanins. Here's some more studies that look at glucose metabolism and even beyond some of the things that you would expect. Here's liver health. You see on the left here, this is the control. This is a healthy liver. If you see in this one in the middle, lots of white dots, that means that fat is accumulating in the liver, between those cells. And this is an unhealthy sort of high-fat diet sort of liver. Now you can feed a high-fat diet, but as long as you have anthocyanins here, you can see an amazing protective effect. This looks more like the controls. So the knock-on effect of having a healthy microbiome and a nice, tight, healthy GI tract is huge for the body's overall health. This is the study that I described earlier. And here's another study. So this was actually on healthy college students. And we wanted to see how quickly you can get an effect of healthy anthocyanins in the diet. So this was one bad meal, like a meal where they were forced to eat like a bunch of these nasty hamburgers. It was really hard to finish, really high fat, very unhealthy, a lot of sugar in it. And what we showed was these are the plasma endotoxins, right? So these are the nasty things that are on the bad side of the gut, and measuring how much gets through into the blood. And we see that with the placebo, this big black box means that a lot of these endotoxins got through. But when with this one meal, also anthocyanins were fed to these college students, there was a huge protective effect. And the amount of the endotoxins that got through was much lower. This is a little bit like that resilience chart that I showed you earlier. So doing a glucose tolerance type of test, we see in the presence of anthocyanins, a much faster recovery. That shows really good, resilient metabolic health right there. So then, to summarize, we discovered the right, most potent sort of forms of anthocyanins and the right sources. We did a bunch of studies and showed that they bolster metabolic health in terms of, all those metabolic biomarkers that we talked about, only not just the dashboard of the car, but, more like the 747 dashboard. We see that the mechanism of action is the microflora are healthy, and so then they impact the nice tight junctions of the GI tract, and they prevent the immune cell from being upset and then affecting the entire body's metabolism.